being a Leeds fan. What a day, Rob. What a day. So I remember a week ago, feels like a different world. We were just talking about his stuff, Bristol. And now, parallel universe. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. We've clearly got, who was it we played? Plymouth. We've got what happened at Plymouth. We've got a certain manager has some really good news. And then we've got, well, I'll let you describe that later, but beautiful chaos at the very least. But I don't know where we start, where we're going to go, but we'll certainly cover a lot there. But Rob, you weren't at Plymouth, obviously. Even look at this. You weren't at Plymouth, obviously, because your dry coach didn't work out. Where did you choose to watch it? Tarting up. Where
I watched it.
Where did you choose to watch the game?
Domestically.
Was that at home, in the pub, in the screen, or what? Where were you? Where did you spend your day?
In someone's home, yeah, not my own
big screen. Anyway, let's not talk about the big screen. Let's just go for it, shall we, Rob?
I'm going to say, it's a Mitsubishi TV. Do you want to know that as well?
Mitsubishi or Mitsubishi?
No, it's a Sony.
No, Rob.
Sony. It's a Sony.
Rob, forget that.
No, I haven't finished yet. Other TV makers are available, but Sony at best.
So we're not sponsored for this, Rob, yet. We'll come back to that later. We'll get a manufacturer that's willing to pay. No, let's talk about the football.
Early, mate.
The football. We were both
soccer.
We were both very, very confident going into the game. I was very confident even when we started. I have to say I was very confident all the way through. But then something happened. Do you want to tell us, Rob? Your view?
Yeah, well, Plymouth took the lead, but they should have scored earlier as well, shouldn't they? Just a minute before. But, and they played all right first half, I thought, and we didn't. It wasn't very pretty. I was disappointed in that respect, and even though we were promoted, I was thinking this isn't the way I wanted to bow out. Nevertheless, we won, and it was a good result and hard earned as well. And the title goes to the rightful owners again.
The owners, rightful
Leeds United
owners.
FC, and Burnley Anti-Football SC. Credit to them a little bit because that's a phenomenal achievement. 100 points. 100 points.
No,
100
points to the game.
100 points coming second.
Back to the shame. Let's go back to the game and the second goal. So almost immediately after the kicked off, scored equaliser. Do you want to? What? I'm excited. So immediately after, almost immediately after we kicked off, we scored. Tell us about that and how your mood lifted or otherwise.
I'm just trying to remember the goal. Oh, it's a good goal. Yeah, great goal, in fact. Really good team goal. Yeah. And
well, he did, didn't he?
It was looking
for me. I have to say, I was confident they were going to equalise, and then I was even more confident we score, although I didn't as the time went on. But first one, was it Solomon Tignonte? Absolutely wonderful. And I think they were definitely up for it. They definitely wanted it. I'm not sure that we should have scored before because it felt like dodgy linesman again. Could you see any offside in that? The Pirro, you could?
Yeah, because he flicked it, didn't he? Bogle flicked it. If Bogle had not touched the ball, then he wouldn't have been offside, but he was offside.
Rob, you're not living up to my hopes here. This is about slagging off a linesman, the dodgy linesman, the worst linesman in the world, but I'll let you have your piece.
Oh, mate, yeah. On first sight, I thought that's a little bit dubious. But then you see it again, the replay, and it clearly was offside. I hate admitting it, but the linesman called it right. The referee's assistant called it right.
I disagree, but I always will. So let's just go on then. So, ticking down.
You can't disagree with facts, Dave. You can't disagree with facts. Which bit are you disagreeing with? The fact that you're not right?
You can disagree with a fact. You don't have to accept the facts. You're a bit stupid, but you don't have to accept the facts, do you? Anyway, so it's getting on.
Don't put yourself down.
It's getting on. About 5 minutes to go, and it looked like we weren't going to score. Plenty of chances.
Is that an ice cream van in background?
That's the church bells. Village life, Robert.
Yeah, I mean they always ring at 9 minutes
They
past
do
6,
round here.
don't
They
they?
have to practice. It's to stop the drug runners. They have normally it's the fireworks go off when there's a bust. This is delivery at church. Anyway, no, there isn't. Honestly, there isn't. I'm not telling you where it is. It's not in Erdington. It's not Erdington Church at all. Not by the graveyard. Not anyway. So,
I'll tell you later, Brooks.
getting to time. About 4 or 5 minutes off. Still pressing. Didn't look like we're going to score. Tell me how you were feeling and what happened.
Well, I actually predicted in my mate's sort of WhatsApp group, I says I was still going to win this, even though I wasn't convinced because we weren't playing that well. It wasn't a pretty game either, was it?
But I'll stay out of it. Go on, Rob.
But yeah, but Solomon. I mean, they never gave up, and that's one of the brilliant virtues of this season's team. Just never gave up and always kept attacking, and going for it right till the end. And it was yet another late winner for us.
We never stopped, did we? And that thing about some people are looking for 100. Yeah, we got 95 goals as well. I don't think we've ever scored more goals or more. Well, I know for definitely no more points, but no more goals either. And then presentation, I wasn't expecting it. They have this apparently. What they do, if there's two teams playing right at the end, the one that's a disadvantage gets the duplicate in case it happens. So Burnley would have had a little duplicate one, and we had the real one there presented. I really wasn't expecting. It felt like a replay the other night, but did you see any of that, or had you gone off to pub?
No, I stayed in. I watched it all. Watched all the presentation, etc. It was great fun. Some dodgy camera work going on, but I won't go into that in the Leeds crowd.
Sunday, bit of a blur, I suppose. But then coming out, the parade. Let's talk about the parade, Rob. And you were in the midst, were you?
Yeah, so I eventually got into Leeds City Centre, town as we call it, for about 11 o'clock, and it was already filling up all around. Yeah, I was given a brilliant boost of a lift by somebody who was at the same bus stop. The father, his family, went to get his car because one bus just flew by and it was full. So we were in a bit of a fix, but he decided we've got a spare place. Do you fancy lifts? Yeah, please. They wouldn't even let me pay, which is even better.
Write this down.
And so I got there pretty early, walked down Vicar Lane, if anyone knows Leeds, and it was Vicar Lane and the junction with the hedgerow was just already getting busy. And I walked towards the corner exchange with the beautiful sounds of somebody's boombox, whatever you want to call it, hi-fi record player, gramophone, playing the original, the beautiful, one of my favourite all-time tracks, Love Will Tear Us Apart, and that was blasting out. And I walked along Ball Lane towards City Square, and it was filling up nicely there. City Square was already a bit balmy.
So where were you in that mayhem? Whereabouts?
Walking my way through, really, to meet my mate who was getting off a train, a very, very busy train from somewhere like Dewsbury.
Somewhere like Dewsbury. There's nowhere like Dewsbury.
Anyway, so he says, I think his train went through Huddersfield. He says there was no one in Huddersfield town centre because they're all Leeds fans and they all got on the bleeding train. So the train was obviously rammed as well. But anyway, I met him off the train and then we walked through. We had a little exploration of City Square. It was filling up really nicely. We're talking 11:30, so it was quite a while to wait. And then we walked up to near Millennium Square and said, "Oh, let's pop in for a pint," and we did. But it wasn't really a pop in, and it wasn't only a pint. We stayed there most of the afternoon. Then watched a lot of it on his phone, LUTV on his phone, and then went down to in front of the library and the art gallery, as well. And near a tree where, very close actually, we didn't see the incident, but where that poor lad fell out of the tree because the branch snapped. So I hope to God he's okay. It's not looking great. It looks horrible. I've seen the video. I didn't realise what I was watching until I saw it. So
I mean,
I haven't seen
I have
it
to say,
again.
I'm
I don't want
surprised
to
there weren't
see it
more
again.
because it was like they were lining the route on the lamppost because you're fearful what was going on. However, you can understand the elation, can't you? You can understand people want to be there, real experience. Tell me what the atmosphere was like, Rob.
It was brilliant, mate. It was really warm. I wasn't even sure I was going to go, but then I thought on the Saturday night, Sunday night, but by Monday, a couple of us had convinced ourselves that we had to go, and yeah, it was fantastic. The colour, the vibe, people's moods, everyone's smiling, the people selling flags and hooters and horns and whatever, sort of very noisy already, very noisy, and obviously a lot of the pyros, sorry,
Set fire
and flares, etc. Yeah, it's spot on. It was great atmosphere. I'm sure there'll have been some less than great moments. People standing around for a long time. Having to wait. And perhaps the bus went a bit too quickly by the time we got to the hedgerow. Well, in fact, I know it did because it just sort of zoomed by. And there were a lot of kids waiting, but you can't please everybody. And obviously,
did you have a long time by the bus? Because I'm assuming the bus passed where you were, so you got a chance to see what was going on, or buses as it was.
They sped by pretty much, Dave. Yeah, because they were behind schedule, and you couldn't really see a lot because of all the smoke as well, which again is beautiful. It's a great image, and obviously I don't feel like I missed out on much at all because so much is on film.
I was going to say the YouTube thing. I thought it'd be about an hour, so I just left it to record. So 2.5 hours later, it's still going, and pump it up, we're going up. How many times have we done that? Oh, damn. Leeds are falling apart, apparently. Ad infinitum. But we're not, are we? We're not, have we? But did you talk to anyone after? Because you stayed in town, didn't you, Rob, after it had finished?
I did.
Do you want to describe your exploits in the evening? Because I don't think anyone was going to bed, were they?
I don't know, town seemed to empty out pretty quickly. I can't remember what time I got home. It wasn't that late. Can't remember. My bus was on time as well.
Buses, aren't you, Robert?
Well, yeah, I'd rather get a bus than a taxi. Tight bastard that I am. Delete that. So I'm not tight. I'm not a bastard.
Very tight it is. Tight isn't the word. It's very tight. Sorry, Robert. I was just talking to the great British public.
You're an imaginary friend. Yeah. You're making an enemy out. You're making an enemy out of my imaginary. Your imaginary friends. You're making imaginary enemies for me.
And I suppose, Rob, enormous elation. So it's you go back to '92 when they had Leicester Parade. So they couldn't do in.
I was there then as well.
20. So it was almost like a lot of stuff's about they were waiting 33 years for this. 33 years to what had happened before. Were you there at the '92 one?
I was. Yes, I was almost involved because my dad was an employee of the club, so I was lucky enough to be invited to the civic reception, which is what that was in '92. So I was behind the scenes as well, and I met Leslie Ash.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you meet by any chance that bloke talking about seagulls and trawlers and I love you and I will love you forever? I will never leave this club. Do you remember? I am home. Did you ever get to meet him, Robert? No, I never said you wanted to. I just wanted.
No, I wasn't what you call a fanboy as such. I mean, I'd done my hero worship in the '70s, seriously, and obviously by '92 I was late 20s, just about. So
yes, you would be.
That's right. Yeah,
Mine's going.
27. I was.
I
got it right, so it's not going that bad. So I did, I've met some of those players since. But at the time, I wasn't interested in hero worship.
So there's the two. Compare and contrast. It was yesterday? How was yesterday or whatever it was in comparison to '92?
Much more alcoholic. Well, it was for me, mate. Yeah.
I didn't mean that. I meant in terms of a celebrate.
Oh.
I tell you what. I think there were some pissed up players. I thought Ampadu was about to get himself run over or something a number of times.